We had one drop. All right, that's cool. Don't have my VPN on. If you can hear me, please let me know. All right. It gave me a drop signal on here, and I can never really tell. Thank you. What up, what up? Bag of Magic. Music good. Vocal audio good. All right. That's what we want. Camera looks elite. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Kaz. Yeah, this is a massive upgrade in the way of clarity. Bag of Magic just made a cool G, flipping his first NFT. Woo! Good for you, man. Hey, here's the thing about like returns and money. People should really only ever talk about like percentage gains, right? Doesn't matter where you start from. Just got to stack the percentage gains, man. So good for you. Tommy, how you doing? Tom always has his fingers on the pulse of DXY. We're going to talk about that. Stream made a crucial moment for BTC. That is correct, Hanad. NTO, Pantomini829, first time chat. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully we have some fun today. Learn something. Kick it. Got the camera sorted out, mostly, I think. The other day, my face looked like super red, but I think we're looking good now. All right, so my usual open anytime we stream. CS Baltz, what's up? First time. JJ Twitch, welcome back, buddy. Whenever we get to this point, I always like to ask what people are doing. You never really know, right? Some people had a good weekend. NFTs had a great weekend. We'll pull up, we're all going to make it.io and talk about that for a little while too. Shady Capital, what's up? Roar, yeah, that's right. Dragons, let's do it. I am Varant back in the house. Yeah, Boku. That's right, dude. I always forget about the emojis. Give you the old level 3. Boom. Crypto God with a good one. What's up, Crypto God? I don't believe Boku is tradable yet, but that's the airdrop from the Boryoku Dragons. And I think it's going to be sick. I think it's going to absolutely catapult that project. So, I mean, it's already catapulted quite a bit, essentially 100x, but I think it's got more. I think it's got more in it. NN7, what's up? Flockenboostel. Flockenboostel. I don't know how to say it. Kaz will have to teach you how to say it. But good to see you here. CS Baltz, 6 out of 8 eggs released would complete the phase 2 past 6 days. Phase 3 is LP. Damn, that's really fast. Like, say what you want about NFTs and their roadmaps and, like, you know, stuff like that. But they have done what they've said they're going to do, right? Which is impressive. Impressive. All right, so quick, fingers on the pulse. How's everybody feeling right now? You scared? You feeling good? You thinking this is momentary? Tell me. I'm curious. I like to do this. Like, I like to do it for interaction, obviously, because I want you guys to talk to me, and I enjoy when you talk, and I like when people bring up new things. I even liked it when that one dude was hassling me. Like, I don't care. But I do this because I think it's a nice little sense. Like, I think of our community as a community that is pretty well diversified, right? People that have been doing this for a long time. OG crypto, newer crypto, people like me that were more like traditional traders and have gotten into this. So I'm always curious how people feel and why I always ask that, because so anti-land right away, not feeling so good, to be honest. I mean, he said goof, but I'm thinking he probably meant that. Abel Tom, I'm feeling good, mostly because my low caps are doing great, which is interesting that low caps are doing great, right? Like low caps are doing fine. You're not seeing the shit come out of like mids and majors right now. Highlander, what's up, buddy? So you have like a bunch of conflictingly weird signals right now. And the other day when I was streaming and I talked about how I thought we were due for a retrace, my justification for that was, well, there were signals, but Ethereum looked better than Bitcoin did. Well, I think that they've sort of evened out. So we're going to talk about that here today. Variant says, I'm feeling stabled. Looks to me like we're going to retest 60K before the next leg up, if it is to happen. I don't disagree necessarily. Shady always has very good takes. I got to move my chat box to a new place here. There we go. Shady says, still bullish. Try not to flip my buys till we get a real breakdown. Been shaken out too many times in the past. It's a good point, man. Like if you, you gotta have conviction in your spot. And kind of stick with that. So that's easier said than done. So it sounds like we got some people positive, some people not so positive, and a lot of midtermers. I would consider myself like mid of the road personally. But we're gonna go over why right now. So I still think we're going to move down. And there's a few reasons for that. Obviously, this divergence happened, okay? That we talked about this last stream. If you didn't see it last stream, it's worth taking a look at because I did explain this signal. It's a signal I use for longs and shorts all the time. And I think it's worth people reviewing because you see it happen all the time in the market. I'm not going to go over it again now. Just kind of hitting touch points here and there. But we had the bearish divergence on the daily for MACD. As with anything, the higher the time frame, the signal, the more weight it carries, right? So when I have people who send me like, hey man, this chart looks great. Look at this 5-minute chart. I'm like, okay, thank you for that. 5 minutes. Yeah. So a daily bearish divergence is strong. Now, it's easy to negate this with a move to new highs. Like it would be negated in no time, right? And that makes it difficult to make a decision to go to stable or to net short at highs. I am primarily net short. I bought some Ethereum today on the drop around 4,600, but not my whole stack. But that's because I wanted to do things with it, not necessarily because I thought the dump was over. So we have this MACD divergence. The target is the 50-day on this signal. Look where the 50-day is right now. Okay. The previous lower high that caused the shot down acted as resistance for a day. We broke up, came back down, hit it again. The 50-day is sitting right there. So even though I'm still very, very bullish for what's going to happen right now, the target for this short, if you will, is like 58.5. Which is in the middle of fairly crucial horizontal now support, which was previously resistance. And that's okay. And this is just one of those little anecdotes that I always like to just drop here and there. Again, when I have my course coming out, this will all be very cleanly organized. It should be before the end of the year. But we always talk about areas that flip from resistance to support or support to resistance. And it's true, they are what they are, but they're not really proven, or you can't really like write it down as an area until they're actually tested. So we did get this one test here, and it's like, okay, now there's something to this. It was resistance on this side, it was support on this side. If it proves it again here, that would be a double bottom, higher low on the daily time frame, which is extremely bullish. So even if we think it's going to drop down to 58.5, which I think it might, it's still pretty productive. JV7XBT, one of our hype train leaders. What's up, buddy? So I'm not saying that even if we break down, it's a bad thing, but that signal typically looks like this. Okay. And then you want to see it come up again. It also can do that. And those are the two like scenarios we talked about last time. Or just, you know, straight ripping forward to where it negates the divergence, right? So we're not out of the woods yet. I know people looked really, really excited, or were really, really excited over the weekend. Bitfinex seller T-wapping like crazy. Interesting. Well, if you're into T-waps, I'm not personally. If you're into T-waps, good for you. The thing is, like, you know, when a person's T-wapping, people ask me, do you believe in that? No, I don't personally, but that's just because that's not my style. If you have a style and a set of rules that you need to follow, then do it, right? That person's actually in their position. If one mega seller can fuck the whole macro structure up, then we got bigger problems. So let's get into the current action here. Let's talk about this for a second here. I have this channel top and channel bottom, and you say to yourself, well, Jared, yeah, well, that's how you're supposed to ladder out of trades. Unlike these fucking clowns on alts who are like, oh, I'm done. Let me rip it all in one sell. Like, we saw that on Apex all the time. Okay, I'm moving out. Everything gone. Thanks, man. Good stuff. So anyway, this was the original channel. And it was a pretty strong one, too. You had a pivot here, clone that to the highest point on the other side of the channel. That's how you do that. And we've just been battling it ever since we got to the top of it. Quite frankly, I wish we hadn't, okay? I wish we had flagged here versus just ripping right through 58.5. It would have been more productive. People would have been saying, oh no, we're rejecting again. Shorts would have gotten piled up. Like, we just kind of roared right through this thing. Now, we all made money along the way, so there's nothing to complain about. But it just makes for this situation to be a little bit more combustible and probably have larger moves, which volatility is fine, right? The problem is there's a good chance that, you know, someone's going to get dunked on soon when you play around with these lines. Now, let's do another one because this works both ways. Okay. Believe it or not, even though this looks ridiculous, it's really hard for me to do because I know it starts to look. This is probably easier. I know my charts are very active, and I apologize about that. But it's my process, right? So 3-day chart actually pretty telling. I don't want that in there anymore. So we just saw the channel. Now let's do it from this side, okay? These channels evolve. And you can have different slopes. See? You can see it overlaid here. I have it on both on this side. I don't have it on both here. So we took our I need to get better at using this. On the daily, we took the bottom 2 pivots, clone it to the top, 1 pivot, 2 pivot, clone it to the top. That's our channel. And it's been straddling it the whole time, right? Above, below, and we're riding it right now. Yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday in my announcement channel. I threw out, we're at the point of no return for Ethereum. Like, it needs the shit to get off the pot. We need to see something. We need to see some strength, or we'll see the breakdown. And we saw the strength, which is nice. But these things evolve. Okay, so now you get a slightly more steep channel where the downside of it could be like over here, right? If you're kind of using your brain on where this would end up. Okay. That would be bottom of it right now. Obviously it's terrible. But if we just kind of slow bleed over, we could get down to 58.5 on just like a slow rip and still be on the bottom of a channel. And like the channels doing that, I'm trying to do my, all right, yeah, there we go. The channels kind of moving to a more steep incline is usually how parabolic moves start, which lead to blow off tops. So it's like, okay, we had this channel. It was respected. We broke out, came back down again. And now we have a new form of that because you can use the same concept to create a more steep channel until it happens again. It's how you can kind of gauge where price is going. Is it perfect? No, it's just giving you clues. Which is why so much of TA is art. The art in TA is knowing I have a high value area. It doesn't mean when you get to that high value area, you necessarily sell. If that's your plan, then that's what you do. But if it isn't your plan, when you get to a high value area, you put your antenna up. You look for reversals. You look for breakdown signals. You look for exhaustion. You look for churn of somebody getting out while somebody else is getting in. And those are the sort of context and clues that matter the most for trading. A lot of people have asked me many, many times why I'm putting out a class that's going to be 100% free. And there's really 2 reasons for that. One, I don't need the money, so I'm not going to take your money. I'd rather help people and have us all get better. So that's 1. But 2, just having the knowledge doesn't make you good at this. Okay? It doesn't. Just having the knowledge does not make you good at trading. You still need to identify how triggers work. You still need to master yourself psychologically. And in my opinion, learning how lines work and how they're supposed to react is not the hard part, guys. It's not. It's not the hard part. So I'd rather everybody get up to speed, and then I'm not going to sell you anything, but I would help you get through the next part, which is psychology, triggers, planning, journaling, etc., to get you to the point where you can be a consistent trader. And that's the hard part, okay? So, this could be a deviation. It could be a deviation. If it is a deviation, thank you, Tom, then we would look for a failure back into this level. And to be honest with you, the most likely outcome when some shit like this happens is to test the other side. Okay, so the most likely outcome is the other side of the channel if it fails definitively. So, based on what I just talked about, drawing lines is one thing, but looking for the area where they're actually going to respond, or areas where they could respond and change, is the bigger part, right? So if I'm looking at this area I've circled is the strongest point where it could catch. Doesn't mean it's the only point it could catch. So it's like, this is why I set alarms on my charts, where I literally can just fuck off. Like I fucked off all summer and golfed. Okay? We caught a couple amazing longs in between rounds. Okay? Between golfing. And it was all here on the stream, right? But you set alarms. This is a critical area. A double bottom high or low on the previous resistance that was proven a couple times and then bouncing off of that would be a logical first place for this thing to end. First place for a dump to end is what I'm trying to say. So if I set an alarm and it gets to this area, I look, are there any reversals that might trigger that this thing's over right now? If there aren't, all right, back to whatever you were doing. Stay net short. Or maybe hit a scalp, whatever it is. Okay? So is it a deviation? Is it just we're looking at some retrace? Because this move really, from the end of September to now, has been insane. We're talking about 40 to 69. 40 to 69. A $30,000 move. Right? I do like what I'm seeing, though. It's put up a fight. This red here, which again, I know, I'm sorry guys, this shit is bad to watch. I need to get better at this. I will. I'll pull some of this stuff off. This red rising wedge is a bearish pattern. 1 deviation, 2 deviation, held the bottom, held the bottom, held the bottom, just broke down from the bottom. So, I don't know. Is he tweeting again? Good Lord. I'm going a little bit out of order here because I think it's worth talking about DXY. And actually one of the reasons why I'm slightly more bullish right now than usual. Martin Kippenberger uses his first time chat to say Elon loves 69. I assume that's a tweet. I don't know. I don't have Twitter up when I'm doing this. Mainly because my own stream is on there and it gets really disorienting if you see yourself when you refresh home. So this is a reason why I think there's a potential that we see a DXY retrace here, which would be good for stocks, which would be good for Bitcoin. Would be good for everybody, right? I mean, this goes back to before July. The anchor on this line. This is not a parallel set. This is not a channel. And you could, I guess, clone and make it a channel right there. But this has kind of been followed the whole way. And so there's a chance that DXY shows some weakness here. It also is, if it turns over, that would be a bearish divergence. If it happened, right? Yeah, I know, Tom. I'm getting there. Tom says there's a more important one than 98. Real quick so I don't get thrown off my own train of thought. I'm less inclined to use body of candles on shit like this, which is what I ordinarily do for crypto, because crypto is so unbelievably illiquid. But if you're using the same logic as Bitcoin and doing it from the wicks, it's still got room. It's still got room to go quite a bit. But I have R at 96. I also have the channel top here. Usually, like, which one's more important? Well, I don't know. You got to draw both. But when you see this start to deviate, where you have this kind of line here that's cutting it off, that's where that other one came from, right? Yeah, 100%. iStrutter says if the USD is going up, wouldn't that make BTC more bearish? As it would indicate people rotating out of BTC into USD. So it's not that linear, Strutters. But yeah, if the dollar is going up, that's bearish for Bitcoin. The reason why I'm using this as an example is, in my opinion, it's at minor resistance right now. So if you're putting this in context with what's happening on Bitcoin right here, where you kind of have some support, but I don't really know. It's kind of weak support. Is this really a place for me to get long? Do I think it's going to break down? This is all the shit that goes through my head all the time, right? Every day when I look at charts, it's not just like, oh, no, line. You know, you got to take the whole thing into context, right? So if I'm going, yeah, there's minor support here. You know, this is where price turn once. Anytime there's a pivot, it's worth noting because somebody moved in with strength at that point. We also have our little pivot turn alpha that we use in here, which is responding. We're holding this line. You go, is that enough for me to get long? I'm not really sure. Well, is it enough? Probably not. But DXY being at minor resistance helps me think that there's a bounce coming, right? But it's minor resistance. So there's minor support, minor resistance, and not really sure. Not something that I load up on, but certainly something that's worth watching. So yes, to your point, Stredders, if the dollar goes up, it's bad for Bitcoin. It's bad for crypto in general. It is bad for crypto in general. What just happened? How did I get off my... Huh. Oops. Cool. So Hula Bulu says, quick new question. When body candle, when full candle? Okay. So I'll address this really quickly. I might actually have an example of this here. No, that's not it. What the hell was I looking at earlier? It was on my chart. Okay, so we have everybody's favorite strudel. You guys know it's the Nerd Quarter project. Strudel Bitcoin. Got some crazy shit coming on. If you don't own some, you probably should think about it. Go to the website, learn, you know, decide if you want to become bullish on it or not. I am personally. I own BBTC and Strudel right now. But I'm using this as an example for liquidity because Strudel does not have a ton of liquidity. You can see down here, it's 200,000. But at its height, it was crazy. It was like $14, right? So when you see big buys and there's not a lot of liquidity in the pool, and for our cases in crypto, we're talking about like a Uniswap pool, you go to make a big buy and you'll get slipped because liquidity isn't there. So you get slipped, price goes up and down. Now that creates an enormous top and body of a candle. If you change it to the line chart, it's not there because the line chart's taking the average of the bar, which is more akin to using the bodies, right? So it usually has to do with the liquidity in an instrument, which is why, motherfucking ads. After 30 minutes? Workaholic. Thank you for letting me know. For those of you who are subbed, you shouldn't get them. Workaholic, why did you get sub? Why did you get ads, man? You're a sub. I turned that off last time. Well, somebody told me how to turn it off last time. Subs get ads now. AI attack, fucking ads. All right, well, no ads for you either. Yeah, I did that, man. Last time I was talking to, fuck, I forget his name. I did that. 3 at a time? All right, so Flock and Boo still didn't have any. iStrutter says Twitch updated some stupid stuff. See, guys, here's the thing. I'm 36 years old. Okay. I am not a boomer, but I'm not far off. Okay. Did I hit the ad button? I didn't hit the ad button. 3 fucking ads in a row. Well, the stream appreciates you guys watching ads. Sorry. I'm sorry. Fucking ads. Don says, I heard if you have an ad blocker, Twitch recognizes it and blasts you with ads. Huh. Jesus. Well, let me know when you guys are back so I can repeat exactly what I just said. Some changes. All right, well, we'll see. Yeah, also, YouTube works as well, right? We're live streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. You can check either anyone. It's the easiest to chat on Twitch, so I get it. Commodus says he didn't have any. All right. We need to do like pop into the Telegram, those of you who didn't get ads, and share with your friends how to not get ads. I don't really care. All right. Are we all back? We assume we're back, right? Yes, Hanad, I will tell you. I'm getting there. I want to answer this question because it's worth talking about. If you're all back, which I assume you are. Workaholic's back. All right. So the reason why sometimes I use the body of candles, sometimes I use the wicks, is really dependent on liquidity. The example I used was Strudel. Strudel doesn't have a ton of liquidity, but it is a great project. You should take a look at it. You probably should buy some. Okay, that's my pimp for Strudel. And I'm not really going to mention it much often. I'm going to have a taxi on soon to talk about what they're doing, but I'll probably just flex later on when I make 10x my money. So when there isn't a ton of liquidity and a buyer comes in, you'll see these crazy ass wicks, like these enormous wicks that really get into some crazy places. And you go, well, Jared, like Bitcoin has $1 trillion or whatever it is in liquidity itself. Why would that happen on Bitcoin? Well, because of degen idiots, right? You can't really not have, you have to have a crazy amount of liquidity for degens to not have ridiculous wicks appear on the charts, right? If everybody gets leveraged long in one place and they all get rinsed in another place, you're going to see that on the chart. And so that's why sometimes if you see me looking at a chart, like sometimes when you guys ask me about stuff, like I'll get really focused and be looking at a chart. What I'll do is I'll go to the line chart. The line chart doesn't lie. It's the average price for that bar represented on the chart. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter. You're not going to see the same shit that you see on, illiquid shitcoins where there's like, oh my God, somebody came in with 30 ETH and, price went from $1.20 to $1.90 and then back to $1.30 because that person had to have their slippage up in order to get filled. Okay. That's essentially why. So on like stocks, which are algo manipulated like crazy, shut the fuck up, Siri. That are like stocks, equities, whatever that I'm trying to say, futures, they all have crazy algorithmic programs running to kind of keep them in check. And they're less subject to have that shit happen. So I don't really do it in stocks or with the highest liquidity items. Like the dollar, you cannot manipulate the dollar. There's way too many forces at play to manipulate the dollar. There are not enough forces in play to say that you cannot manipulate Bitcoin. You can. So that was my answer to your question. What indicators are your favorite for looking at buying a position? Van City, it's a great question. I will answer it in a moment. So you see here, our old school channel top, the one that goes back to the most important pivots, is holding, okay? Viceman666. You can go to CoinGecko. Here's the thing. If the project you're looking at is not on CoinGecko, then you shouldn't be trading it, okay? Not necessarily, but like you can assume it's got pretty low liquidity if it doesn't have a page on CoinGecko. Even Apex, the meme coin on AVAX, was listed on CoinGecko within like an hour of launch, maybe 2. I don't know. It was the fastest CoinGecko listing ever. So like if it's well connected, it's going to get on CoinGecko. If not, eh. But if you go on to CoinGecko and check a project, you can go and look at the markets and it will show you every place that that token is traded. And if you just look over all the different data they have for each place, you'll see exactly how much liquidity there is. Right? Yeah, or should and hope for the 100x or 0. Look, that's a strategy, okay? All you gotta do is get like 2 right out of 100. You get 2 right out of 100 and you're net positive if you're playing for 100x or 0. Really 100x or rug, right? So anyway, we had a nice little bounce here, respecting the top of this channel, which is what we want to see, right? This area now is going to be resistance. I promise you. It already is. You can see it. That is not easily overcome. But if it is overcome, you'll see a huge move. Okay? I'm digging this song, man. It's got some intense vibes. Yes, anti-lion. That is essentially just gambling. So, right here, if it doesn't break 68K, everyone will be calling Wyckoff. Ugh. You know what? I've kind of come full circle on Wyckoff. I usually am a hater of Wyckoff. I actually had and still have a huge, a couple pages outline of why I think ETH BTC is going to 0.16, 0.18. And I was talking to a mentor of mine. He was like, don't share that shit. So I don't know what to do with that. I teased it the other day. And he was like, you know what, man, there's some stuff you just don't give out. So I was like, all right. What about in the Telegram group? Can I give it out in the Telegram group? And he was like, that's fine. So maybe I'll post it in there. But yeah, Wyckoff is actually pretty good. Those guys have a monthly service for like $100. And they do calls every single week on like Wyckoff accumulation, distribution, et cetera, et cetera. And they've started doing crypto. So if you want to see like the guys behind Wyckoff talk about how and why and the psychology of why it works and give some examples that are live, you can do that, which is pretty sweet. I have not joined it yet, but I'm planning on it. So somebody asked about indicators, and it was Van City with a 5, which is smart. I like Van City with a 5. He said, what indicators are your favorite for looking at buying a position? Well, easier said than done, right? You're not going to like this answer. But there isn't like an indicator to say. In fact, I need to do this. It's been a while. Yes, that's right. Okay, Flockin's ahead of me. He's no, he doesn't mean that. Flockin Boostel. I'm trying, man. I'll Google it later because I want to say it right. He said indicators for longs, and I believe he means indicators. But triggers are how you get long. Okay, triggers. Indicators give you ideas. Like, you need to think about TA as a whole as a bunch of clues, okay? And the clues do not make sense on their own, okay? Think about a murder case just for a moment. By the way, I am prone to ridiculous metaphors, which sometimes land and other times don't. But my hope is if I get ridiculous enough and give enough examples that people will be like, oh, fuck, that worked for me, but what you said before didn't. So think about it like a murder case. If you are a detective and you walk into a room and they're like, hey, man, there's DNA evidence all over the place. There's this, that, and the other over here. But all we're going to show you is this knife. Go solve the murder. You'd be like, what the fuck? Like, no, I can't do that. Like, why can't I see the whole picture? The knife doesn't tell me anything. Okay, maybe there's DNA on the knife. Maybe it was a kitchen knife. Was it a kitchen knife? The wife could have been using it, but the wife's dead, right? Or the husband, doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be sexist. The point is, TA is a series of clues that puts you in position to make a decision, okay? So let's think about this. I talked about being short before, or not being short, but like thinking there was going to be a retrace. I put together a series of things that made me think we were going to retrace. That was on this day. 1, double top. Into highs, slightly above highs. 2, above the channel top, which means you're a little bit overheated. And you can see that right here with the MACD. You also get the MACD bearish divergence, which is a strong signal. So now I got 3 reasons why things are a little bit dicey. Let's go down here. Hey guys, look. Another double top at the highs with another divergence. There's a 4th reason. Our rising wedge, overshooting to the high and failing and reclaiming the falling wedge. That's a 5th or 6th reason, okay? All reasons why there's weakness in the market. But even so, I still need a trigger and I need to have risk management or else it doesn't work. So the trigger here is this bar, okay? If you're using the divergence, it would be this bar. I know Kaz likes to do like range recaptures or like range breakdowns as entries, which works true. It works too. It's just not my personal style. So you have this like low time frame support. If you thought, hey, my feeling is we're going to go long from here, then you get long from there, right? But your stops, and dare I say, where you need to hedge is right underneath it. That's why it's kind of a good trade. Because you can say, look, it has a clear invalidation. That's what we mean when we say a clear invalidation of an idea. So I have 5, 6 reasons on like pretty high time frames, including a trigger. And if you wanted to short, you short here and you put stops over high. And you have a very, very great target. So be a short from like 66,000 down to 58. The R is there. But my point in all of this is saying triggers are the actionable price action that you use to enter or exit a position after you've built your case on a higher time frame, right? So if it's daily, 3-day, weekly, 12-hour, 8-hour, whatever, if you have a bunch of things grouped together and you go, oh, fuck, that looks pretty bad. And by the way, another thing that you could say this looks pretty bad could be things that aren't even directly related, right? So at the same time, that was like, okay, you see strength in DXY. This breakout in DXY was about the same time. So you go, now I also see strength in DXY. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Okay, had this great rip, which we were a party to as well, and then we're up here against this resistance. So it's all about putting the context together to get into and out of a position, which is why a lot of times you'll hear me kind of make fun of, not really, I don't mean make fun of, but like just kind of poke holes into the people who are like, I'm gonna buy this area. Right? Because if you just say blindly, I'm going to buy this area, and you go, you know what, man? When we get to 58.5, I'm buying the area. And all you do is layer your bids down there, and that's it. It might work out, but there's a good chance you're going to get absolutely fucking smoked. Because what are you doing? Are you just buying without a stop in place? Like, how do you know that momentum is turning in your favor? I guess you really don't, right? Like, you need to put the pieces together. So, I didn't mean to go on an 8-minute rant, but hopefully that makes sense. So I use the MACD, like if you're talking about like pure indicators, I use 2, sometimes 3 if I'm looking at the VPVR. But like on every chart I have my 50 moving average. I used to say 50 day. In this case, it is 50 day because we're on the daily chart. But even if I go to the 4-hour, I still have the 50 bar moving average because that is the mean regression average, okay? If you take the last 50 bars and add them together, if you get way extended on one side, odds are you're gonna regress back to the middle. That's how markets work, right? It's essentially a mean regression tool, mean reversion tool, right? So I use the 50 moving average because it gives you an idea about how overheated you are. Not to mention, if we were talking about the triggers that we just talked about, not only was there a double top and a bit of a divergence, but look how extended we were versus the 50-day. So again, another reason why you potentially could say, I'm going to take some off the table here. And here we are sitting right around neutral. Sitting around neutral to me is actually kind of bullish where we are right now. So I apologize for the long-winded answer, but hopefully some of you hadn't heard that before. For people who are trading and have been trading for a long time, you're like, yeah, bro, I get it, move on. That's fine too. But there is no indicator that says buy. There is no magic silver bullet that says this is a great area. It's why trading is hard, okay? Trading is hard because it's not as linear as it seems. If you were to ask people what trading is, you'd be like, you look at a chart, you buy one area, you sell another area. Like, that's not really it. You're not even talking about the mental battles you're going over. You're talking about a lot of things. What's my MAC indicator? It's called MACD Mark Gains. It's a custom indicator. So it's my custom indicator. If you join the Stacked Labs Telegram chat, I'll give it to you for free. Yeah, buy low, sell high, buy high, sell higher. You know, yeah, all those things work. It's just I like to think of myself as someone who is under control while I trade, and just doing that, being like, I found an area, I'm gonna buy it. Not really it. Okay, that's just my personal style. Thanks, Van City. Appreciate that, bud. All right. Now that I spent 45 minutes on just looking at Bitcoin and DXY, because I do think DXY is at resistance, keep an eye on that, right? You're even starting to see it sort of roll over. Sort of roll over. It is its first move up, though, after getting back to the neutral area, so I doubt that's done. Just giving you an idea. Yes, found this local support. That doesn't look great to me. Nope, that doesn't look good either. So, on balance, conflicting signals right now, okay? So, let's talk about Ethereum. Yes, this was the what I sent out in the announcement channel yesterday, and I also include in the Stack Labs Telegram, so you don't have to join my announcement channel if you don't want to. It's pretty much, you get it by being in the Stack Labs Telegram, which, by the way, there you go. That's the Stack Labs Telegram. Come hang out. There's 400 of us in there, a bunch of ballers. People know what they're doing. People that don't know what they're doing, and we're all just trying to get better together. So Ethereum, to me, is much cleaner than Bitcoin, right? It looks to be more clean. What do you mean by more clean? Well, you know, you don't see the deviation. It's a tighter pattern. It's tighter price action. You see just this clean ass trend. Well, what is a trend? A series of higher highs and higher lows, right? So this was a lower low. This is an equal high. This is a higher low. Here's a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and so on and so forth. That's a trend. We want trends. Trends are your friend. Literally, one of the first things I learned when I got into trading is you can learn everything there is to know about trading, but if you don't learn how to play with a trend and against a trend, you're going to have a really tough time until you figure it out. So trading with a trend, doesn't matter if it's up or down, is significantly easier than trading against a trend, where you can do it and you have to be able to put your bull bias aside and say, yes, I'm willing to look at the other side of this, which is what the inverted chart does. But the trend is your friend when you're with it. When it's against it, it's when you switch to scalping, okay? That's when I scalp. If I trade against a trend, I have an entry, I have an exit target. When I hit that target, I close my position. That fucker could end up running 10x past where I sell. But I will take my win and move on every single time. Every time. You do not trade against the trend and hold your positions for long. Unless you are just lucky enough to catch the one trend reversing move. But if you base a trading strategy off that works, then you shouldn't even be here talking to me. Go make your billions in the standard marketplace. Okay? It's not that easy. Now, back to the point at hand. This is cleaner. We are at this moment of truth again. So yesterday, I had it right here when we peaked below, found some strength, right back up. Right? And here we are again. What does this look like to you guys? I've been talking a lot. I need to take a drink. What is this? When you look at this chart, what does it look like? Please, God, say something. I hate it when I say shit. Nobody talks. There's 80 some of you in here. What does this look like to you? There are no wrong answers. Okay. Chopper says long position for me. Upper GG says testing trend line for continuation, hopefully. Good. The worst tanker ever. That's an interesting name. I like it. Testing resistance. Good. Hulu Bulu. Good. Bull flag. Yes. RKPZ. By the way, a bunch of first time chatters. Thank you guys and welcome. RKPZ says downed. Nibbler, ascending channel for sure. JV7XPT says too many touches on the lower trend line. Yeah, a little bit more of an advanced concept, but it's true. It's been tested a lot. I'm variant testing the bottom of the channel. Okay, yes. I agree completely. To all of the above. If you were to look at this in a vacuum, that is flagging. Again, I don't really like to use the wicks, although the wicks would work here too. Same deal. We had the fake out yesterday. Okay. So you have a little bit of a downward channel. So a little bit of a flag, but yeah, it's a little bit tight. It's a prolonged channel up, right? 1, not really. 2, got close. 3, 4. We got 4 kind of touches over 4 different days going back to the end of September. There are some people who will say 3, 4, 5 touches, you got to get nervous. Anything beyond like 5 touches, pretty good odds it's going to break. It might. I'll say we're right there right now. But I haven't seen a level lost, okay? I look at this and all I see is strength. Because, again, the trend. It's not like we didn't have down days here. Like, think about this. At one point, we went from 36 to 44 and back down to 3,900. Was everybody calling for game over then? It was game over on the most important, like, horizontal line that we have. 39.30. But I look at this and I see a trend. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Literally, okay? Even here, if we turn up here, we've maintained the trend entirely. The worst tanker ever says good place for a scalp. Yeah, it could be a good place for a scalp. And here's the thing. Dom, good point. No break in the trend. The reason why it's a good place for a scalp is, well, a bit of horizontal support here. You can kind of see it probably down to 4,500. But the invalidation is like fairly clear, okay? Even if you wanted to give yourself a wide stop, you can give yourself a wide stop under 44.80 long here. So literally $103 stop zone, which is fine by me because I don't trade with leverage. And what's the upside, right? Shady says hard to be bearish looking at that chart. Exactly right. That's a 5-hour trade. It's a 5-hour trade. I haven't talked about R in a long time, and we have a lot of new listeners, so I need to get my old RR chart out. But if you trade for 5-hour trades, meaning however much you risk, if your target is 5 times that risk, let's say I risk $1,000, but if I get it right, I make $5,000, that'd be 5 to 1 R. If you only look for 5-hour trades, which believe it or not, very easy to do in crypto if you know what you're doing. You know how many trades you need to get right to be profitable out of 10? Like 3, okay? It's actually less than that, but 3. You can literally get 30% of your trades right. Yeah, 2's break even. Nibbler, so you're right. But 3. 3 out of 10. You guys telling me you can't shoot 30% accuracy and be profitable? Of course you can. We see it every day. You take 10 shots in a week forcing trades, you'll probably get 3 out of 10. If you can be 5 out of 10, you're rich. You can get 7 out of 10. You know. Woo! Good for you, right? So, this is the more, again, this is bullish evidence to me. And until this breaks down, I'm pretty like neutral to bullish, right? Yeah. So Chobber says, what do you think of people that don't care about trade ratios? Upper GG says, if you believe there is head and shoulders on the 4-hour chart also. Yeah, not really. That's a pretty forced head and shoulders to me. The moment that you have like angled head and shoulders, which is what this is, like you're, you know, I don't know that. I don't know. I want head and shoulders to look like head and shoulders. Otherwise, it just ends up being like, you know, moon phases. So Chopper, I'll come back to you. iStrutter said, too many new people over leverage and put in their whole portfolio, see a red for a second and panic, cut, or don't cut, which is even worse. That's wrong. Yeah. Those are people that don't know how to use triggers, right? People that legitimately don't know how to use triggers. They literally just YOLO in and out of shit. So Chopper asks, what do you think about people that don't care about trade ratio? You don't have to care about trade ratio. You really don't. Like in crypto. But if that's the case, you shouldn't be using leverage. You should be spending your time focusing on FA and research and just putting your money into projects that you believe in. If you don't care about drawdowns, thanks, only bad names left. If you don't care about drawdowns, then yeah, find good FA projects and load your money up and hope and wait, man. Like, it's been more profitable to be a holder than a trader. If you have the diamond hands or diamond balls of steel, right? Like if you don't give a shit, you're like, yeah, it's gonna move against me, so it is. Or if you just continually DCA into something, like a lot of my friends now who ask me about crypto because they know I'm into crypto, hey, what do you think I should be holding right now? And I'm like, DCA. Just dollar cost average in your paycheck every 2 weeks, throw in $100 or 500. I don't know how much money you have, right? So you have to find a strategy that works for you. Here's where people fuck up, just real quick. And by the way, I cuss, guys. Sorry. I'm the R-rated version of cuss. He doesn't cuss. I do. Oh, it's a totally different conversation, right? Totally different conversation. Staking, you're getting interest. It's a project you believe in, and staking, like, it's amazing, right? Don't worry about it. I lost my train of thought. I literally did. Somebody just hit me with ADA and I lost my train of thought. Only bad names left. I knew it. Somebody was going to get there before I did. What the hell was I talking about? Oh. Yes, I will check Satan in a bit. So, holding is fine. Believing in projects are fine. Staking, if you can get interest, even better, right? And not really caring about that. Oh, DCA, thank you, Hula Bulu. Like, for most people, that works out great. Because you're not really interested and your entry price keeps like averaging in. You don't really care. If you're macro long-term, that's a great thing. If you're a holder, be a holder, right? Buy, hold, spend your time reading white papers, look at communities and put your money in that way. The great thing right now, and I say this all the time, it's almost like what I say more than anybody else that I know of. But I will say that, and I say this, I'll look right into the camera. We are in the greatest market at the greatest time in the history of tradable markets. We are in the greatest market at the greatest time in the history of tradable markets. Okay? So it is extremely forgiving right now. It is extremely forgiving right now, where people are getting away with shit that you will never get away with in any other market. Okay? I buy, I hold, the shit goes to zero. I don't really care. There's a pump, I sell out of it, whatever. Somebody tweets about it who likes it, the shit goes nuts. Right? Like there's all sorts of things that can happen right now to bail people out of their awful fucking trades. Okay? It happens all the time in crypto. It happens all the time in crypto. People make horseshit decisions. They get bailed out because the market strength is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. There's going to be a time where crypto is not, the hottest new thing. I don't know when that will be. But theoretically, we'll see areas where crypto, or times where crypto is not exploding, and those who didn't learn their lesson on how to take a loss are going to get absolutely destroyed. Hungry Ape Man. I don't make good decisions in crypto. What are you talking about? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Flocken, you said, can you say a little bit more about entry triggers, please, if you have time? Yeah, I will. I'm going to go through ETH BTC, and then I'll circle back to triggers, and we'll talk about alts. Okay, so the guy who asked about sand, please just remind me when I start talking about alts, we'll look at sand. Okay? Again, we're like literally on the moment of truth right here for Ethereum. Crazy Frost, what did you say? Oh, yeah, sand. Gotcha. I wasn't sure which one you were. Okay. ETH BTC sitting right in this like key area. Okay. Here's your support. Previous resistance broke through. This is the one that I literally live messaged. Hey, this might be a good time to take profits. And it legit rejected 10%, which is pretty sweet. Came back up, back down, whatever. It's kind of mid-range. It's hard to have conviction about a move in ETH BTC right now because you can see this going either way, really. And I always have to remind people that ETH BTC can go up or down, even when prices are falling, because all it means is one is falling more than the other, right? Excuse me, which is typically why Bitcoin gains in this. Because when everything takes a shit, people move their money to Bitcoin. It would not bother me if we came down to test the 50 MA from the top, because that would kind of prove this area as support. So it wouldn't freak me out. It might actually be needed. You see these little areas of resistance. So it was support, then it was resistance, then it was support again, then it was resistance again. So you can see this area right through this 0.072 is taking a lot of shit from both sides. Which means that this area will probably be an area to remember after we resolve one way or the other, up or down. It will probably be support or resistance, depending whichever way we move, where even if we break above this level, you could see it like wicking down into that area and hitting again. Charts have memories, like when we've talked about when channels break, the area that they break always end up continuing to be resistance later on. In fact, yeah, that's a good example right here, to be honest. Look at this shit. See, like, I need more time to just like focus on this stuff, all the other things I'm doing, okay? Trend line broke, breakdown, get back up in here. There's a history of it. It remembers the area it broke down from right here. And look, that's where it rejected the second time. That happens everywhere. When a trend breaks, this is as much alpha as I'm giving out today, okay? When an area breaks, draw a line, set an alert. And it's probably going to be R or sport. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I don't know what to say against BTC right now because it's kind of mid-range, you know.
I'm not sure I understand.
Shut the fuck up, Siri. God damn it. ES is always worth watching. ES is the S&P 500 futures contract. You can look at SPX if you want, or SPY. It's up to you. I pay for futures data because I occasionally trade futures. Yeah, sorry, Hula Boo, I'll get back there. It probably is. S&P 500 are the 500 largest companies in the world with the highest volatility. Okay, with the highest volatility. Meaning when price moves, they move the strongest, up or down. Either way, it doesn't matter. And that's what the S&P 500 is comprised of, and it's always a great, just general market indicator because it spans all segments. Although it's starting to look a lot more like just QQQ or the NQ, the NASDAQ, the top 100 largest tech companies in the world. Pretty much does the same thing, right? So you have this breakout high back to the top of this resistance line. Fucking ads. Wrong link. That's not great. Well, let me. Let me know when you're back. Okay, you're back. Hey, BK and Oculus, maybe that's a virtual Big Mac, man. I don't know. So, it's always worth knowing what's going on with the S&P 500, with the NASDAQ NQ, or QQQ, which is the top 100 companies in the NASDAQ, which Bitcoin usually aligns itself with. Okay. I pretty much only check this if I don't have a great signal. I'll go to the NQ, but like you can see, I don't really chart NQ that often other than this one support point, which coincided with this support point. So I was like, yeah, all right, it's going to go up. Whenever you get near the top of the band, or the top end of the channel, there's a decent chance you're going to see a rejection. We are not decoupled from the major markets yet. So a lot of people are seeing retracements in their portfolio. By the way, gas is 371 right now. What the hell is going on? Somebody snuff that out if you can. What's going on? The gas is 371. Consistently 371. That's high as hell. So you see this area, you look at MACD, had a lot of momentum for a couple of weeks. Okay. Now we're starting to move sideways. Not worried yet. But you could see it retracing to here. Just kind of slowly burning down. That's a lot of money out of the markets if that ends up happening. So always keep an eye on the S&P 500. Belarus threatening to cut off gas to Europe. Yeah. Gas is 462 right now on my live scanner, which you guys can't see, but now 520. Something's happening. Sorry, I'm monitoring this real quick. Dude, 520. Completely useless right now if you're not a cajillionaire. Yeah, 520, I know. There's not shit you can do right now. To 520 though, Tom? I don't know, man. I haven't seen it like that all day. 637 right now. Yeah, something is off. I'm guessing something's off peg, and there's a lot of ARB going on somewhere. Wow. Yeah, but 637, like, who's claiming an airdrop with 637 as your gas, dude? Like, negates a third of the damn airdrop. I will say that Ethereum's doing great, given that Ethereum or that gas is completely unusable. 680 now. UK declaring war on Russia. Jesus. Fucking. All right, I don't often do this. I'm gonna go to Drudge Report, my alternative screen. NATO alarm over Russia. Troop buildup. We're at a boiling point. All right, that's not new. First off, the UK is not starting war with anybody without being like, the US, you good? You coming with? You get their ass kicked. Well, they wouldn't, but. No, I'm sorry, Shady. I meant like Ethereum gas. Ethereum gas. 517. My bad. All right. So I was going to circle back here. The question was, why isn't this a gigantic cup with handle? So it kind of is. Gwei, yes. It's kind of, okay? This is like a pretty shitty cup with handle if you were going to look at it that way. Let me see if I can get to a cleaner chart. Again, the support zone for me. Cups with handles, typically you want to see look like this, okay? Not that, right? Like there's ways that they are supposed to and not supposed to look. This kind of falls away from that where, you know, I wouldn't necessarily call it that. You'd like it to form below resistance and flag at resistance to then rip, okay? And yeah, I just don't see it. That said, it's not like you can't call this like a flag or moving sideways, retesting the previous horizontal resistance. Like there's a bunch of reasons why it could be positive. I just wouldn't call it a cup with handle. All right. I've been doing this thing for an hour and 16 minutes. I said I would check some stuff. Let's do it. Assuming this works. All right, somebody asked about sand. If you have other alts you want me to take a look at or other news-worthy things, where's my, there we go. Let me know. Yep, I'll get to Solana. Always willing to talk about Solana. Gas down to a much more reasonable 389 now. It's pretty sick. I have, but are stupid alts or random alts. Yikes. By the way, guys, if you're going to tell me something, I need you to give me the ticker, okay? There's nothing I hate more than like trying to guess and having it not be the right one. And then I'm like, fuck, I spend 3 minutes Googling shit. Just tell me the ticker and that way I can take a look at it. All right, so sand. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say here, right? Like, this is what it is. This is a huge run up. It got marked down. People taking profits. It showed strength. Quite frankly, it looks really, really good, right? You can almost like bracket yourself in here and go, this area was defended once. If it breaks down, this is where I cut, right? So these like high level consolidations, you know, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, let me go back. Bit, yeah, actually I had Bit down on here for a while. I saw Bit has inverse perps on Bybit now, which kind of makes sense since it's their shit. But they don't have inverse perps for a lot, where you essentially can trade against the token itself, which is pretty cool. I think people, this is like pretty sloppy to me. What this looks like to me is people don't really know how they feel about Bit yet. Pretty strong consolidation and markup on BitDAO between $1.74 and $1.85. If I would have seen this as it was happening, I would have bought that, because this like tight, again, this is just something for you guys to note for the future. High, tight consolidation over days like that, extraordinarily bullish. Okay, extraordinarily bullish. After this bullshit to then come back up and just kind of move sideways, that's somebody building a position. And then finally got to the point where they're like, all right, I can't believe this shit any further, and woo, rip. You get the same thing here, sideways consolidation, boom, rip. And then now you're kind of getting some sloppiness. There's a bearish divergence on the daily. I would guess that you're probably going to see a test down here between 240 and 215 right now, soon. But it's not like crazy, so maybe not. Yeah. iStarter said easy invalidation. Yeah, exactly. Because you can take it long against this, and if it loses that level, you close your position. Like, it's rare that, so that's where you get like high R trades. It's rare that you get a position where you can essentially take a long with like a 10-cent stop. It's insane. Right? All right, let me go back up. What was the next one in line? We'll go to Solana. Go back to my main screen for that. Solana is in an interesting place right now, because like there's nothing bearish about this. We're just kind of hanging out. In my opinion, we're hanging out mid-channel. Self-Sovereign One, what's up, buddy? You only missed the first hour and 20 minutes, man. No worries. They're all recorded, right? Where the hell's my... Cool. African time. Yeah, that's tough. It's 2:21 in the afternoon where I am. I'll record it though, man. Plus, here's the thing, guys. While we're still a small and mighty group, if you really got some shit you gotta ask me, you watch the stream afterward and you're like, I wonder that. Come into the Telegram, dude, and at me. I don't think I've ever been atted in the Stacked Labs Telegram room and not responded. Okay? Like, ever. Doesn't mean I'll do it in the 5 minutes you're there talking. But I go through and look at every time somebody asks me in my own fucking Telegram room. And if, as long as your question isn't like, you know, is it true if you don't use it, you lose it? Like, I'll respond to your question. So there's nothing bearish per se about what's going on with Solana. This is a flag. It's productive. We're at highs. Like, we're not, for all the bullshit that's happened in the market lately, like Solana's $20 off highs, man. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. you would, you know, like I'll say for the moment that right here is support at 228. But I don't know. That's a little sus. There's not a lot to go on there. Yeah, bent lines. I don't like that. I mean, maybe. So I would. Here's what I'd say about Solana. It's my largest spot position, easily. It's not even close. Not even close. My largest spot position is Solana. In gross tokens, obviously. In Bitcoin, it's more. Metaphysical. What? Well, I would say don't do that, metaphysical. I'll answer your question in a second, but it's a really bad strategy. No, man, I'm getting all the good questions here. Okay, nothing wrong here. It's just kind of floundering right now, but it is still like high level consolidation while everything else is fucking around. So that leads me to believe that they're going to try to defend this at 220 as much as possible. That said, I would not mind if we came down to like 195, 200. That would still be productive to me. To me, that's still the bottom of this long-term trend line, which is all you really want to see hold. When people ask about timing the market really quickly, this is me just kind of going off on a tangent again. You get these when you ask me questions. When you want to be out of the market is when you see trend or category or just market leaders lose their long-term trend. So if this area breaks down on Solana, this red bottom of the channel, this trend line, which is what it is, you'll probably see me in like 100% cash. When leaders start failing, it's time you hide your ass. All right? All right, going back up. Sol Ave. Yeah, I will talk about Keeper, by the way. $100% Strutters. Yes, sir. I lost 86K in the market. Put my last 5K into Doge, Elon, Mars. Have over 3.1 billion. Need a 10 to 30x, and I'm good. I got news for you, brother. If you YOLO everything into one thing, you may get your 10 to 30x here, but you'll go broke later. I'm trying to be a dick. Just calling it like I see it. You might win now. I hope you get it, bro. But you'll be back to on tilt and broke before long. If you're that fucked, bro, like no joke, if you are that desperate, you need to get out of the market, period. Absolute wrong mentality. Shike, what's up, buddy? Yeah, of course. So here's the thing about Aave. Aave is mystifying to me. Just absolutely mystifying. Because it should be so much higher than it is. I will say what's productive about Aave is like this. Like it's kind of coiling. So I'm hoping someone's building a position, but you saw this wick up to like 457 on Coinbase. Like, this shit's crazy. Well, I mean, look, people thought about Keeper too, and the Keeper went from $500 to 2,000 in like a day and a half. So it can happen. I just don't know why they're falling so far behind. It may be in part that like everybody associates Aave with Ethereum, right? That was really a pump and dump. All right, so that's not even good either there. That's bad. I associate personally, like in fact, I'm using Aave right now on Ethereum, and it's fucking stupid. I should be on Matic or something else. Because it costs a lot of money to transact. Just to pay back my loan will cost me like $300, which blows. So, yep, I'll talk about one and Adam. I got some time here still. Yeah, DeFi is getting hammered by gas fees. Like, it's a real problem. It's what's holding DeFi back. Aave is a blue chip. Aave will always be a blue chip, and no one will convince me otherwise, man. Like, Aave is a very, very strong project. Their TVL is enormous. Obviously, Justin Suntron took out his money the other day, and that like reduced it by $1 billion because that asshole somehow has a ton of money. So he moved it somewhere. I don't know where. So, yeah, I mean, we're just right across this band. What I would say, if you're trying to play Aave, if you're trying to play Aave, you just want to see which way this band from, like, what is this, 285 to 315, whichever way it breaks, I mean, be on that side of it. If it breaks down again, like, I don't want to see the retest at 180. So, I don't know. It is mystifying to me, though. Somebody asked about ADA earlier. I don't know if they're trolling me or whatnot, but I realized I never answered that question on ADA. ADA is kind of a joke in this stream. And I don't mean that to be a dick. I swear to God I don't. I'm sure if I had been... Excuse me. If I had been in crypto when ADA first launched, I'm sure I'd have been fucking all in on it. At least I hope I would have been, because look at the money these cats made, right? So, I am sure that ADA has some redeeming qualities. We had a guy in here last time who was kind of defending it that I misinterpreted for him actually mocking it, because they have done some things. But what they have done well is build a community. And anytime a coin can build a community, it has good pumpamentals, right? No, metaphysical, I'm fairly confident is shilling, which is fine. Like, you know, you can just come in here and say, like, I'm long, let's all get long together and try to get rich together. Like, I don't need the heartbreak. Because if you're saying to me that, like, you lost almost all of it in the standard market and you're going balls deep on Doge, Elon, Mars, like, I'm not coming with you. Because you even might be right, but I am 100% certain you will be broke and on the street soon. Okay? If you think I'm down, okay, so you have 5,000 left out of 86, or I guess it'd been 91. So you took a drawdown at 95% of your portfolio. You're going balls deep on something called Doge, Elon, Mars. You're going to be broke. All right. I don't know who just... that might have been me. I didn't mean to delete him or kick him out. That was not my deal. But yeah, so he's probably shilling. That's fine. Like, you want to come in here and shill your shit, dude? Like, great. If you come in here and aggressively shill on my stream, I'm going to call you out. That dude was shilling. And if he's not shilling, he's going to go broke. That guy's going to have nothing. And you should take JP, that guy's advice. Go get a job. You fucked up. Yeah, Ethan, I'm looking at it. I have it on my alternative screen, so I see it. But anyway, back to my point about ADA. It will moon at some point. I know it will. It's got an incredible community. The people are absolutely crazy. Crazy. They love this shit. For some reason, they're still there, and they're so they consume the Kool-Aid so fucking hard, they'll never drink anything else the remainder of their life, right? I have no problem with ADA. Like, I make fun because it's a meme at this point. Yeah, it could go either way. It could go either way. Hanad, you asked me about something, buddy? I forgot what it was. I'm scrolling back up, but the guy trolling me about Doge Elon Mars, clearly shilling, got me thrown off. So I'm going to go back and look for other ones. Somebody asked for BNB. I will talk about BNB because we had this conversation, like, no shit. I remember streaming on this day. Yeah, it's about Halloween. And I was like, I don't know, but BNB is BNB is above this resistance, and I don't see anything to like $600. So it's probably a good long right now. That's exactly what happened. So we ripped up high to consolidate on BNB. And here's what you need to know about BNB. This is much more technically a cup with handle. Like far closer than we were just looking at before. This looks way more like a cup with handle, okay? If we get a little bit of a handle build here, this is gonna go to $1,000. Okay. I said before that I thought BNB would rip. And in the context that I was even looking at this was, I said don't sell SOL until it's the number 3 overall market cap coin. But the problem with that is CZ does not like to lose, okay? CZ, I don't know how to say his name. The CEO of Binance doesn't want to lose to Sam. Sam bought his ass out of FTX or Solana or whatever the fuck it is. Literally bought him out. He don't want to lose. So BNB is going to perform like Solana until somebody runs out of money. And those dudes both have billions. Okay? I know it's weird to say, but it's actually a pretty good time to own BNB right now. Because you know what, dude? Yeah, $1,000. If this breaks out, it's going to $1,000. All right. CZ doesn't like to lose. We got a high level consolidation right underneath highs. He is painting this chart. You think that CZ doesn't know how market makers work? Bro, CZ is the market maker. Binance is Binance is the fucking market maker, okay? They know exactly what to do to paint a chart to make it look good. This looks fucking amazing. It looks amazing. And like you guys like, wow, this guy's getting really hyped about BNB. No, I'm just like taking a step back and going, CZ doesn't want to lose to Sam. Right now, they're 3 and 4 overall in market cap. They both want to win. And Solana, look at Solana compared to this. Okay, look at BNB right now. Which one of these looks better to you? Camera 1. Camera 2. Like, holy shit, the stream changed. All of a sudden, Jared's BNB maxi. Not really, man. That's right. RKPZ. By the way, you got the dino in your name, but that's sick. GlitchCon 2020. What is that? That's badass. I want that. So, yeah, BNB looks good. I suggest you buy all dips as long as the market's good. I own like 5 BNB. Oh, sick. All right. I want a dino, man. That sucks. All right. Somebody asked about 1. Yes. Also outrageously bullish. Right on support, holding its line. So now guys, remember when earlier when I was talking about context and I was like, you got to take a look at where everything is. Everything is right on this like bottom of the trend line. So the question is, are we about to fold up and go home? Are we about to fold up and go home? Are we about to take our ball and go home? Well, we might. Like, no shit, we might. Generally, it doesn't happen until the end of the year, though. JJ, I will get to MC. I should have bought MC, and I didn't. I saw it on Copper, and I fucked up. The pain is raw, but I will still look at it. Flocky and I will get you. I will get you, my man. I'll pull up Samo, too. I think you can get Samo on TradingView. Yeah, you can. Down only since it launched. On should I go back to beat? Okay, by the way, Bitten Rat says I lost my wife to ADA. That's when I started laughing when I was like mid vibe. So yeah, a lot of people like that. And by the way, just a random, I will pull up FTT and FTX, in fact, or FTT, which is FTX right now. FTT is among the most frustrating fucking things out there. Easily among the most frustrating things out there. It should be so much more. Should be so much more. It's unreal. The problem is, like, FTT is given out for equity. So, like, Sam uses it as, like, his like, personal bank to make acquisitions or to, like, pay people. He's like, here, I'll give you a bunch of vested FTT. How about that? And they're like, oh, yeah, sick. So, it's, like, constantly has sell pressure, which makes it tough to own. Eventually, FTT is going to rip. Like, eventually. And I imagine what might do it might be BitDAO having its run, which isn't exactly the same thing what's going on with FTT, but like, again, these guys are competitive. They don't want to get beaten out, right? So, yeah, it's just frustrating. I wouldn't trade it. I own FTT because I stake it on FTX for lower fees. That's about it. I would not own it long term. Dude, I don't want to talk about Crow. Why are you doing this shit to me? I was told if I join the Cosmos ecosystem, I get airdrops left and right. I haven't got shit yet. Veracity. I forgot what this ticker is, man. You got to look. I know that I've looked up Veracity like 1,000 times. And you got to be like, there's no way this dude does not remember. That's VRA. What the ticker is. I swear to God, I don't, dude. I got a 4-year-old. I got a lot of balls in the air. I'm working on a class. I'm investing in shit. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, I only got so much. Lucy Music, thank you. And thank you for being a first-time chatter. Yeah, so Mana is a great play. So I'm still a member of a trading group, which is pay only for standard market stuff, okay? And I've tried to get them into crypto. A lot of them are getting into crypto, kind of explain what like the metaverse is. Every single one of those dudes bought Mana. And I think probably Sand too. But like, you know, you can buy it on Coinbase. It's getting marked up like crazy. It's good exposure to the metaverse, like, you know, I guess. So yeah, nothing bad here, right? Nothing bad here. I'd like to see it hold this bottom level. I'm guessing it will, but this is where, like, if you want to set alerts, which you should, in fact, I'll even do it for myself. Not that. Buy Mana? Question mark? By the way, my alerts always look like this. Because it's not just saying buy. I'm not like, oh, fuck, I'm going to go buy right now. I want to see what's going on and take a look again, right? It looks like the Burj Khalifa. Yeah. Lucy Music. I want to know what kind of music you're into. Facebook made everyone talk about the metaverse is good. Yes, absolutely huge. Metaverse plays are super plus EV right now. I'm actually in a couple as an investor, and they're exceeding my wildest expectations as an investor. I'm not going to talk about which ones because I don't want to be that guy who's shilling his own shit on his stream. But they're out there. Take a look. All right. Let's go back over to here. Actually, I'll do VRA. VRA, and then I'm going back over. Oh, my God. I'm so disgusted by this. Yeah, VR is next for sure. Good point. Shady. Good point. I'm disgusted by this chart because I forget who it was. It might have been Only Bad Names Left. Might have been somebody else. Brought this up on stream, and I was like, this looks fucking great. I mean, this is literally, this is the cup with handle that dreams are made of, okay? It is the cup with handle that dreams are made of. Like, amazing. You know how tight you could have been on entry here? I cannot, literally, if I would have longed this, like I said I was going to. That was a 20-hour trade. Okay. And this is a trigger, by the way, another trigger. I gave an example about one earlier, and this is another one. And since we talked about triggers, I'll talk about it for a moment. Flock in if you're still here, buddy. I'm about to talk about another trigger and how you're supposed to do this as Ethereum and Bitcoin consider breaking down. Not yet. So this is a beautiful, beautiful example about how you pull a lot of things together to get yourself a tight entry into something. Doesn't matter if it's an alt, doesn't matter if it's a stock, doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, whatever. One, this is glorious. Absolutely glorious. Okay? Big long cup from April to September. Literally a 5-month cup. And then another month as a handle. Like, that is the sort of thing that you want. Because, like, these are people taking profits and then another buyer coming in and taking a position. Somebody believes in it. And it looks great. Now, an entry trigger. This is an entry trigger that I use all the time. All the time. Okay? Tim, I will look it up next, dear. I'm not having this shit happen twice. Literally, so this is why I like streaming, by the way. There's a few reasons why I started streaming. One of them is I know there is a ton of smart people out there in crypto that are smarter than me, that find shit that's better than what I can find, and I want to hear about it, okay? People have been on me about FET recently, and I have not bought any, but if it looks like this, I will, okay? So, we already, like, let's lay down the fact that, I'm going to get there, I swear to God I will, Biba. What this looks like, okay? You have this pivot which forms horizontal resistance. You have the cup, you have the handle, all very, very bullish, okay? I'm gonna give a step-by-step breakdown on what a double bottom trigger looks like. It probably was a divergence too, but I'm not even gonna do that one, okay? So this is a double bottom. Double bottom, so this is essentially giving you 3 touches on the same line. It's proving it. This was support, came up, was support again, came up again, and they really wanted to test it. They said, I want to make sure you're going to defend this fucking level. They sold right into it. Okay? It is on a great, great spot. Right? Here's how an entry trigger works on a double bottom. So you have this area here, you have this area here. The more technical one is the second line, the one at 0.0273. When you see this go below, it's not a buy when it gets down here. All right, you are banned. Yeah, I kicked him out. I can't have that. That's a spammer. So it comes down. You don't buy here. A trigger on a daily is huge. It's a recapture. That's why I think Kaz talks about it a lot. I don't know. I'll have to ask him later. But like, it looks like it's a reclaim of that lost level. It's essentially what's happening on double bottom. So you got one area. You have another area over here. Sorry. So you already know this general area is support, and it's building on top of a much larger macro structure, right? Comes down. You don't buy here. You don't buy here. You buy the close above this level, or when it's recaptured. Actually, you probably could have done it here. But essentially, when this line, after the dip down, is retaken, that is a double bottom entry trigger long. Okay, so one bounce down, another, oh, go this way, another bounce down that's lower. And then when it comes back and regains the original line, that is a technical double bottom long trigger. So you essentially would go long as soon as that level is recaptured, and you set your stop down here. So it would be on this line. I'll do it here because it'll make it easier. You bastard. And then the stop goes below the lowest point. Now we can move it over, and it looks like that. So it allows you to define your risk. It allows you to define your risk, that when it enters or exits a certain area, you know, okay, I think this is the long. It might not actually be the long, but if it regains that, I will take it and then set my stops under low. That's one double bottom trigger. Somebody just asked me, does this apply to a couple handle formation just in general? This is a double bottom on any formation. Okay, it could be a long. People are asking about candle closes. It's up to you. So wouldn't you want to wait for that handle, for the candle to close? It's on a daily chart, makes it a little bit harder. I thought you had to wait for the top of the V. You could do those things. The top of the V is an ABC pattern, okay? ABC, you would long up here. Two different entries. The reason why on a daily pattern you would take this early is that it's likely that you're going to see momentum, and it's going to rip. And it's going to go so far away that your R is going to move in a big way. So I would still take the entry when it happened. You may have gotten stopped out. Fine, I got stopped out. I would take that again. A lot of times it takes 3, 4, 5 shots at an area where you get stopped out to get the one you want. Because look at the upside, okay? So that is when it regains the first pivot, boom, I'm long. Because here's the thing, I'm gonna go down and actually look at a lower time frame. So let's see how it would have played out. Down, recapture. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. They came down and knocked you out by the low here, 0.025655. This is 0.0255. So it literally came down and nicked you out. I would have bought it again right here. And did the same thing. So a couple shots. Then you get a little bit higher and you see the actual handle breakout. And wow, we got momentum. Boom, you keep ripping. That's a way to get closer entries onto where you want to be. But it looks amazing. And by the way, they came down and knocked out those people who were looking at that area. The ones that they thought would actually close or had stop set there if you were trading on an exchange. Shut up, Siri. So yeah, there's a couple ways you can do it, guys. ABC, a different one. Double bottom, fine. And I think if we actually got down to a low enough level, a low enough time frame, there would have been a divergence long as well, which is usually what I end up doing when I long, because it gives you a tighter entry. But does that make sense? First pivot recapture, long, stop under low. If you get stopped out, take a look, recaptures again, boom, hit it again. Probably have to go back further on that. Yeah, so it's not exactly the same thing on fetch. Yeah, Chopper, go for it. But it does look good. Fetch looks good. Again, it's not as technically sound as what I just showed, but you theoretically could have called that a breakout of the handle, got me back over to test in this area, and it's fine, right? So fetch looks okay. I saw algo, and since people always tell me about it, this is like my one big regret right now, is I have never looked at algo. Even though people have told me about it, I've never looked at it. But yeah, this alone shows its strength. One, two, three, flip to the top side. And if this were to break down, which by the way, this is a bear flag right now. I would expect $1.57 to hold. So keep an eye on that. I just looked at it, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, the dude is... The guy is 100% just shilling his own project. Yeah, so it looks fine. It's a little sloppier to me than I'd like it to be. You know, if you wanted to buy, look around 73 cents. You know, doesn't look as good as other stuff. Yeah, all right. CHR. I mean, yeah, it looks nice. Again, nothing really to say here. Looks good. Don Adam, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Hanad, you're such a nice person. You've been fucking like, dude, I've been saying this to you. Yeah. So much like we thought, the parachain auctions on DOT were a sell-the-news event. Yeah, Lord James, no problem, man. So we're falling back down under previous all-time highs. That to me is weakness. I don't know. I'd look for like $40, 40, 41. SXP, I got you. I'm gonna do Atom first, then XSP. Atom, nothing really long. Like when we saw this drop down the other day, it got right into this demand zone and popped right back up. I would guess, since it's showing like general weakness right now, I would imagine that you're probably going to get another crack at $28. You make electronic music, dude, or lady. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl. It could be either. You gotta show me some of your stuff. You want me to play it on my intro? Sushi sucks. That's what's going on with sushi. Yeah, so like you have this area, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, like it's holding up pretty well on a larger time frame. Yeah, it kind of looks like flaggish, right? I got so many European people, man. Nibbler, no problem, buddy. I'll do it. By the way, if you're a sub or you've been here for a while, I'm probably going to answer your questions first. I'm just saying. So, like, Nibbler's going to jump some people because he's a sub. Or he was gifted a sub. I don't really care. I can't tell. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with Adam. I'm still very, very bullish on Adam. I think Adam continues to go higher. Yeah, no problem. Fluckin'. You gotta tell me, like, send me how I say your name, bro. Like, spell it out phonetically so I can do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches here. I'm guessing the next time we get to this level on Adam, it will break. The L is silent. Is it? Fakkenboostel? Fakker? All right, sweet. So, no problems here. In your mind, it's funnier. Get out of here, man. Don't make fun of him. My name's Jared. Pretty dumb. So, yeah, I think you'll see 28, 29. Did Link finally wake up? Nope. So, this is pretty clear. Here's clear. You want to talk about a breakout trigger. breakout triggers fail more often than they don't. Okay. Breakout triggers would be essentially you would have longed this and gotten stopped out. No problem, not. But when it does break out, it's going to go to $47. Okay, so Nibbler asked about Link. I think it will probably go at least to 42, probably to 47 before it stops once it breaks out here. So if you fancy yourself a breakout trade, this would be it. It looks actually, look at this, okay? See this? Everybody see it? Got it in your mind? Looks a lot like that, doesn't it? Whoop. Same deal. Same deal. Yeah, Woo I'm annoyed about. I first bought Woo when it was like not a lot of money. Like before this was even accurate. I bought it like 24 cents. Maybe here? No, it was way earlier than that. Yeah, exactly. Chopper, like for real. It looks like the same thing. So these double top failures, bearish pattern failures, can be triggers. Okay? You got a double top. Right now it's a range high. You can either buy the range low and sell it when it gets back to the range high, or look for the range high breakout, which works as well as anything else. Okay. Bids around 26. Yeah, that's pretty good. Step. I can't, like, look how unbelievably accurate this shit is. Like, whoever this market maker is super unoriginal. So yeah, really the range high, $1.35, range low, 62. We're at 84 right now. It comes back down. You can justify a long. So back to Woo. I'm going to find the real one. Why can't I find it anymore? That sucks. That's not it. There we go. This is better. Yeah, I remember I bought like here and I sold like here. Good shit. Up, down. These were very clear buys. I know Three Arrows Capital's involved bigly on this, so it's not a bad FA player, else they wouldn't be involved. Yeah, so a lot of times people ask, like, what do you do when you get a breakout? Well, you either buy the breakout or you look for an area like this to be retested. So it's tough for me to justify buying up here, given that we have the breakout. However, if you saw an intersection like this, okay, where it kind of came back down into this area, touched this trend line, yeah, long the fuck out of that. It'd be really, really good. That's my opinion on it. Cutie NFT. Bitmrat, you don't got to sub, man. Don't worry about it. The people who sub, I very much appreciate, and I'm honored, and it helps me do cool new things like buy this camera, okay? Like, I used to have some piece of shit camera. Now I got this like super hype one. Actually, this was bought from Joel Birch, the CEO of Stack Labs. But hop into the Stack Labs Telegram chat, man. It's always a good time. There are a lot of people in there, always learning, trying to get better. It's a good place to find like-minded people who want to get better. And like I said, I don't think I've ever not answered a question that I've been tagged in my own chat room. Okay, doesn't mean I do it right away, but if you have something you want to ask me, go in there, tag me, my name there is my name here. That. So if you got something you burningly need an answer on, let me know. Oh, look at Ian Varane. Gifted a tier 1 sub to Bitten Rat. Dude, that's so nice. Look at that. See? Family helping family. Look at that. Now you got to pay it forward, my man. Not necessarily in a sub, but in some other way. Help an old lady at the grocery store, right? Vice man, very educated stream. Hope it keeps growing. Me too, man. You know, there was a long time ago where there was 40 people in the chat room. 40. And those OGs will have a special place in my heart forever. Now we got like 415, 420. So we've 10x in size in a few months. I think we'll 10x again over the next few months. So, you know, we just keep doing us. Yeah, 420. Is it 420? I don't even know. 413 presently. 7 more, we get to 420. Yes, so do I. Yeah. It wasn't always like... I get like a gross count between all streamers. So it's 76 right now on Twitch and another couple on YouTube. Somebody asked about sushi. I just kind of shit on it really quick. But like, yeah, dude. Sushi is a stablecoin. I'll pull it up in a second. JV7XBT. I see it. So yeah, sushi sucks, man. Like sushi should be doing Ugh. I got fucking Smile Direct Club like in Invisalign. So now I have like this lisp when I fail to appropriately enunciate S words. Ugh. But yeah, I mean, if you want to play sushi, buy by 9, sell by 16. Like it's just a fucking stablecoin. It's brutal. If Flying Flap, I'm happy to give me the ticker, man. You got to give me the ticker. Front, okay, yeah. Sorry, I know, like you should know that. I probably should, but I gotta delete some shit in my head. So yeah, I would have forgotten it. I'll look it up in a second here. So this is selling, okay? So kind of jump back in here, and we're breaking down back to the previous level. So for HTR Hathor, I'd want to see this this hold, or else you're probably gonna test it at $1.25, $1.25 if we can't hold this. You also could see this. You know, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm looking at it. 63,820. I'll pull it up in a moment here. Let me check out front. Balls. Front. Frontier. So like general thoughts, if you're asking me FA thoughts, man, I don't remember. I probably do looked at it at some point. It seems very familiar to me. But this is a flip down to the downside. So I don't know if you're asking as a bag holder or you're talking about getting in position, but we are on the trend and on horizontal support resistance right here. So it could be a good long, but I'd probably sell if it got back to the top of the range. It's 2x anyway. Not bad. KDA. By the way, I did not get the Paraswap airdrop, and so I will never trade on Paraswap ever now, because I'm just petty like that. Okay. Fucking... Yeah, like I'm not a whale by any stretch of the imagination. Well, okay, I'm not a fish either. I'm like you know, one of those like mid-range joints you see in like an aquarium, right? One of those. And yeah, I'm just annoyed by it, man. I used Paraswap early on a couple times. Probably not enough to qualify anyway, but I heard I wouldn't have gotten it anyway because it would have been like, you had to do it relatively recently and do 5 different transactions and like, you know, stake something. And you had to like send the CEO or the head dev an email talking about how much you loved him. And then you had to like do a dance, put it on TikTok, tag him or some bullshit like that in order to get this airdrop. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, fuck Paraswap. KDA is interesting. Yeah, if you wanted to try KDA, 15, 16 bucks. Pretty clear in validation too. So if you can buy, it probably stops at 17, stops underneath at 15, and you get some pretty high upside there. So here's the thing, guys. When you ask me about shit that looks like this, it's really hard for me to like give my opinion because it's already pumped like crazy. There's a decent chance like it just falls off a cliff, right? So I don't know. But if it doesn't, and if it just comes down here and just like slowly bleeds down and moves sideways for a little bit on support and then rips back up again, that means they're ready for another markup. So worth looking at. French Connection Finance and Dynamics. I don't know what that is. Salmon Soro Trisland. But if you got a ticker, I'll take a look at it. I think I got all of them. Is there anybody who I did not answer their question? Key, Hive, fuck BitBoy. I don't know that ticker, but I'd buy it. MC, yes. Thank you. MC was next. Where you at? Fuck. Hold on. I gotta get the contract address for this to work. Ah, shit, Keeper. Yeah, so Keeper I'll do while I'm figuring out the contract address for MC. So Ataxia and I were talking earlier. Ataxia is in the Stack Labs chat every day, which is an incredible asset. If you guys have a complex question on crypto, go in there and tag Ataxia. He'll answer. He usually comes on here too, but he's working on a lot right now. I'm sure we'll have him on soon. He is 100% convinced this is going to a $10 billion market cap. So this is moved. This is jacked. I'm jacked to the plums. Like super high on Keeper. And he says it's still grossly undervalued. It's hard for me to buy a chart like this, okay? Like real hard to buy a chart like this. Give me something to feel like I didn't just buy somebody's 100x, right? This is when you like, maybe I will look at fibs. Like, give me something $1,000. $1,000, I'll buy $1,000, right? It's hard for me to fucking buy all the way up here. But it's wicking into 2,000 and keep going. So his thesis on this working is essentially every major protocol needs to use Keeper. So it's going to go up. I don't know. It's a sick chart. And I'm annoyed that I don't own any. Yes, it is almost like CRV, where it's like you almost just have to have it. I am so unbelievably bitter that I did not get in this. I was like fucking around down here trying to get it closer to $2. I saw it get to like $2.50 and I was like, no, I think I'll get it. And then it went to $10. So this is a sore spot for me on MC, but for you, JJ Twitch, I will open that wound for you. Okay. Yeah, dude, I have fucked up every LBP, every single one. So that is not fun. Coty. I'll take a look in a second here. Bitten rat. Except for Anubis. Played it perfectly. By not playing it? That was fucking funny, man. I think all those people are going to get a refund. Oh, shit, man. Sorry. I think you're going to get a refund, bro. I sincerely do. Sisyphus has a really, really good rep, or he did anyway. And I doubt he wants to lose that. So if they can get the money back, he'll do what he needs to do. This is what I see right now from MC. No, he's not going to suffer 60 million, but they know where the money is. They know where the money is. So I think they'll eventually get it back. Like, everybody was doxxed on that. The money hasn't really been moved that much. Like, they'll find it. It just might take a while. So pretend like it's gone. When you get it back one day, you know, you get it back. Even so, bro, just remember, I got hacked for $1 million once and I'm still here. You'll make it back. Don't worry. Yeah, I got hacked for $1 million in April. Yep. A lot of people in here know about it. I've talked about it on stream before. One day I'll do like a produced video of it. Yeah, April of this year, I got hacked for 7 figures. Yep. Hot wallet. I had it in a hot wallet. Yeah, like 6 months ago. Yeah, I hired a digital forensics firm. I can't really talk about it because it's still ongoing. And I have a case open with the FBI. But yeah, I had a hot wallet. It was all in a hot wallet. And the guy got access to my computer, essentially a Trojan. And it was a brand new computer. For a long time, I thought it was the computer company. It wasn't. I just did something really fucking stupid. So the guy was in my account. I didn't always use hot wallets either. I had some hardware wallets, but I was moving things back and forth, and I left it in a hot wallet overnight. And yeah, essentially, I went to bed at like 2, and I woke up, and I have all my transactions come through on my phone, and I woke up and I see all these transactions on my phone, which isn't uncommon. Like, you get airdrops and shit, and like that would show up too. And I was like, selling out, what the fuck? So I literally run into my office, and this guy, I can see him like moving my mouse around and like just sending my money to himself. And so I get in there, I'm freaking out. I go into my chat with all my boys, and I'm like, I'm getting fucking hacked like right now. Like, what the fuck do I do? And I tell them, this is 100% true. Okay, I am not making a single bit of this up. Okay, hand to God. I come in here, this dude's taking all my money. I don't know what to do. I literally am like, fucking trying to shut everything down. I close out the window. That doesn't really do anything because he has access to my whole computer. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm trying to like knock out nonces, like trying to send nonce to like knock out pending transactions and all that shit. And finally, I like shut him down. So I have a different camera now, but I had my old shittier one. And my old camera, when it turned on, a light would come on. And so I'm sitting here and I'm literally like in my boxers and like a t-shirt, and I'm like, it's 6 in the morning, not even 5 in the morning. And I'm trying to like get everything down. Dude throws on my camera and looks at me. He literally turned on my own camera and looked at me as he was stealing from me, which is super fucked up. Okay. So he looks on my own camera, looks at me. I finally am like, what the fuck? My boys in my DGen chat, there's 25 of us, they're like my fucking family. I've never met a single one of them before. I'm talking to them, they're like, bro, shut down your fucking computer. What are you doing? So I shut down my computer. But before I do, again, I swear to God, I'm not lying. I look right into the camera and go, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. I will never stop. And I shut down my computer. And I swear to God, that's true. I could make $100 billion, and I will look for that motherfucker until the day that I die. The day that I die, I will be looking for that fucker. All right. So, yeah, FBI is looking into it. It's all gone. But yeah, like this is personal, and the more money I make, the more resources I have to pursue this motherfucker. But yeah, $1 million. So that was in April of this year. If you look at my streaming schedule, I was streaming before this. I stopped streaming for a while. I was in a pretty bad place mentally. as you might imagine. That's not my entire nut, okay? It's not, which is great. But that never feels good to lose that level of money. And so I took some time off. I didn't trade for a while. And my boys helped me out. They helped me get back on my feet from a crypto perspective because the money that I had left, I needed to like live on and didn't want to like put at risk. So yeah, my boys helped me out. And I'm happy to say that in 5 months, I made that money back. Okay? 5 months. It took me working my ass off to make that money back and be positive. But it was it's the second worst day of my life. The first worst day, my son was born 3 months early. And we were in the NICU for 3 months when he was 2 pounds when he was born. So that day was worse. But this is right there. And yeah. So anyway, I thought about walking away. I thought about hanging it up. But I love this space. And here's the thing. A group of guys that I've never met before, and some that I have, but mainly ones that I haven't, kept my head in the game. They picked me up. They helped me out. When they saw great opportunities, they told me about it. You know, helped me out in a few different ways and got me back on my feet. And that's why I love crypto. That's why I'll continue to pay this stuff forward. And why I cannot stress enough to all of you, finding a great community to join helps make this journey a lot better, okay? It's part of the reason why I started Stacked Labs, the chat room for you guys to come in, be part of a community, because I want to be a conduit to help everyone succeed. And at my lowest, people that I've never physically met in person pulled me out of it. And those people will be my brothers till the day I die. And I will never stop looking for that motherfucker until the day I die. So, if you ever get cracked, if you ever get hacked, if you ever have a rug or some shit that really goes down, do not walk away. It is the best market at the best time in the history of tradable markets. Okay? Don't walk away. If you want to talk about it, talk to me, man. No one has been through this shit like I have. Okay? So, happy to do that. All right? Whew. Was not planning on telling that story, but you know how it goes. We got a lot of people here. Figured you might want to know. But that's 100% true. Thank you. Good energy as I'm talking about wanting to hunt this motherfucker down. Yeah, true enough. Okay, that's a vindictive. That's my Italian Polish blood in me. Being like, I may forgive, but I will certainly never forget, and I will never stop looking so I can look you in your eye. And I hope that fucker watches my stream sometimes. He probably doesn't even know who it is. Anyway, I digress. Sorry for the aside there. I believe the last one I was going to take a look at was Cody, and then I'm going to call it. Jobber. No. Yes, I will. We'll look at this. We'll look at Key. This is actually very productive. Very, very productive. I like this a lot. For real. Worth taking a look at right now. I don't know who brought this up, but again, these are just very clear areas where when you see it happen, you can see like major levels flipping. So if it can hold this, Chopper, right on, man. If you were the one who brought it up, I don't know who it was, but this sort of like, here was all-time highs, we broke through, and we've just been kind of holding it the whole time. If it can finally get through this and resolve, you're going to see like a crazy ass markup. I forget what Cody is, but you should take a look at it. So, you know, depends on what your current thesis is. Number go up, number go down. If you think number go up, probably buy here. Not financial advice, do your own research, go fuck yourself, all that stuff. FCF. Yeah, no, I mean, that looks wild, man. Yeah, so just real quickly while I'm, so Chopper says, go fuck yourself. Whenever I like put those like, you know, DYOR, do your own research, NFA, not financial advice, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I do not worry about anyone suing me ever for financial advice because I don't click your fucking button, okay? Like if you're like, oh, he made a really compelling case on stream and I bought something that lost a lot of money, like you fucking click the button, man. So like, while I want you all to be I want you to help yourself and I want you to protect yourself, like fucking come at me, all right? Yeah, I'll do Luna next. So whoever asked about French Connection Finance, like this is so unbelievably pumped. I would never ever buy this. Like it would need to have a crazy ass FA. But to be this pump and only have $1.6 million in liquidity, yeah, no fucking way. Any single one of these top holders could destroy this chart at any time. So, no. Yeah, hell, fuck yeah, you should sell. I mean, it might go higher, but like if you bought in at the lows and you're riding it 14x, yeah, I'd get out. Or at least take a lot out. I mean, it might go 10x from here. You know, sell half. Yeah, get your initial. Dude, if you made 300%, if you have made, so here's, see, this is why I need to get my fucking class out. In alts, particularly alts like this, the moment you 2x, pull out your initial. Pull out your initial. Why the fuck not? Then you got a free ride. This thing could 1,000x from here. You got your money back. It could get 1,000x. It could go to 0 and you don't care. You bought yourself a free ticket on a hype train. Take out your initial. Chopper makes sense, man. In my opinion, it's also ridiculous to point these things out. I don't think it is necessary to point the things out. I just think people do it because it's a meme, or like people are really worried about getting sued, which would be hysterical. Like in court, what would that sound like? Like, well, he made a really compelling case, and so I bought it. I lost all my money, so I want my money back. Did he sell you the token? No. Did he grab your finger and press buy on your computer? No. So what exactly is your case? Well, he made a really compelling. No, fuck you. Keyshoe. Timbo, since you're a first timer, I will look at that. I'm going to look at Key first, though. Is this for real? No, that's not right. What the fuck is it? This is not right. Did they stop AVAX support on this? It is on TradingView? All right, thanks. Yeah, I mean, so I remember I was staking on Key like the first day that I was in AVAX, right? Oh, KuCoin, okay. Sorry. There we go. So I remember staking on KuCoin like the first day I was on AVAX, and I was on AVAX early, okay? So like I think I rode this pump up, and I think I tried to buy some of these and got smoked on the drop down. Yeah, so you can see that this is being sold into right now. Oh, I don't like that. This area is being sold into. So, yeah, I don't really love this. You'd want to see it definitively break 20 cents, and then you'd be in a good spot. It's on KuCoin, I think. I mean, I have ChartX, so I just go to ChartX. Here's your Apex chart. Sorry. Oh my God. Flocking. My bad, dude. I'm Italian too, brother. Italian and Polish. Yeah, it did. It did. I pulled it up and it was like today's data only. Ben Key, Q, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, so Apex is doing fine. You know, Apex needs another catalyst. Like, here's the thing. Like, no one's selling this really at all. It just needs another catalyst. And yeah, go buy chart tokens. You can go on ChartX and see whatever you like. This is what I use anyway. All right. I think I got them all. Did I miss anybody? BMI, Bridge Mutual Insurance, or Body Mass Index. Okay, this is intriguing to me. There's volume coming in. This might be gem worthy. Worth thing to look at. Someone tell me the FA on BMI. Because I don't know it. Sorry, my wife texted me. I had to get her back. Insurance protocol from way back. I remember being super hyped when Oracle's insurance for the narrative had some bigwig CEO on the team, if I recall correctly. Well, they're finally doing something. So yeah, I would look for a flip of 88 cents and you'll probably get another dollar move out of that. V2 just launched? All right, that would do it. For the life of me, I don't know if I'll ever be more upset about XAVA because I bought a lot of it like right here. Yeah, I'll get back to time. I own time right now. I bought a lot of it right here and I sold it here and I should have just kept acquiring because this markup has been insane. And XAVA was always going to rip with the Avalanche chain. And so it doesn't make, I mean, it makes perfect sense as to why it's doing this because it's essentially, it's a launcher. Fucking ads. Let me know when you're back. Oh, Lithowex is closed. All right. Shill. I don't know what it is. By the way, the Panty Dropper says, what do you think about shill? About shilling? Or is it a token called shill? So you look at time and you go, I'm not sure. It has like an 84,000% APY. All right, that's fine. But what I like about time right now is this. I actually drew this earlier and I bought time when I saw this. So time versus AVAX kind of hit the last point it had before it broke out and where it wicked down to previously. And I swear to God, I literally bought it and look what's happened. This happened since I bought it. So time can be sustained. As long as Danielle continues making shit, time's gonna rip. How much time? You want my social security number, bro? I'm staking as much as I own. All of it. Yeah, what's your MetaMask mnemonic? Sure. You want my bank account login? Take that too. Something just like jammed into my office door. So Lithowex says, no, I'm sorry. Strutter says breakout candles are very nice to play. Usually indicate someone with a lot of money pushed up and is willing to protect their entry and build it. It's 100% true. That's why volume matters. Okay? Volume matters when you see bigwigs come in and push a candle or push beyond it. Yes, someone is marking it up, someone's willing to defend it, and the way that they get out of their position is an absolute, it's like magic, okay? Salmon, Soro, Treslan, go to their Telegram, dude. Actually, I know a couple of the moderators in there. I can't get into it now. It's even kind of beyond my brain. Not even beyond mine. Not saying like mine's great. I'm actually pretty dumb. But yeah, just go into the Telegram, go to the website, read the docs. Yeah, it essentially is Ohm. All right, let's end on Bitcoin one last time. Notice our magic channel top is still holding. Even though we had that little breakdown below, we're right on it again, okay? This is my parting shot to all of you. If we break down, the most logical area is between 58 and 60. Somewhere in there is where I would expect a rebound. Hopefully we don't even break down. However, see this line here? This is where I will personally add 61.5 for at least a scalp if we get there. This is a concept that I've talked about before, and I'm going to stop talking about moving forward. But like front running the dip buyers is what this strategy does, and that's where I would expect it to actually bounce. It might not work, but I'm not going in with like everything I have. So I would buy here if I got it on like a wick down, and then look for reversals down here. And this is a trigger of sorts for me. Not going in huge, playing a scalp, being happy about it. All right. All right. Look at that, man. Ethereum holding the level 2. I'm actually more worried about what happens tonight, to be honest with you. Solana doing fine. Like, there's so many things that are really like doing okay in spite of what's going on. Ethereum, or I'm sorry, Wi-Fi still looks like a bag of dicks. So look, everything is as it should be, right? Bitcoin's holding, Ethereum's holding, Wi-Fi still fucking sucks. So does sushi. All right, like everything works. All right. You guys know I don't ask much from you guys. In fact, I usually don't ask anything at all. But I would appreciate it greatly if you would join the Telegram chat and tell other people to join the Telegram chat. And let's try to build this community. We're at 413 members right now. Can we get to 420? That's 7 people. Or join yourself. I don't care. But the more people we have, the more powerful we become. The whole idea behind this sort of community is we all have our eyes out. We're all looking for different things. A lot of the stuff that I've looked at that you saw previously had lines drawn on it were not my ideas. They were your ideas that I looked at. And we all came together with a plan on how to attack it. EV DAO. That's right. Plus EV DAO. So join the community, invite some other people that are smart that you respect to join the community. Let's all get better together, right? Thank you, Bittenrat. Appreciate that, bro. First day here, he gets gifted a sub. That's right. Except not decentralized, not autonomous, and not legally an organization. 100% true. Are there quants in that Telegram? There might be. Actually, one of my best friends is a quant that makes me feel like an absolute clown. And I go to him for questions when they're needed. But if you are a quant, just a random, please join. Because I would love to hear from you. All right. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 36 minutes. This has been a long one. Nice to meet all of you that are here for the first time. OGs, people that come out. We're 85 people now. Come on, man. You guys show up right when I'm about to sign off. Every time. Been here for 2.5 hours. Join the Telegram. Subscribe. Not subscribe. Follow the stream on Twitch. And as always, be smart out there. This is my outro. I got 1 minute left. Quick risk management lesson for small lev trades. Yeah, don't use leverage. That would be my lesson for you. Thank you, Nibbler. So upper GG, not necessarily, but like if you're going to leverage trade, you have to have a stop loss and a target in mind before you enter the trade. Before you enter the trade. Not like I enter and I DCA in and I go from 3x to 5x, 10x to 20x. You got to have your entry in mind, your stop in mind, and your target. And when you hit that target, you take your profits and you get the fuck out. Okay? No exceptions. Leverage trading is a great way to go broke in a market where it's nearly impossible to go broke. Nafiko, no problem. Anybody else? We got like not a lot of time left. 10 seconds. Come hang out in the Telegram chat. Tell some friends. We're good people.